I got into comics when I was 6. I went just out on a shopping trip with my mum, and she bought me 3 comics. It was a Batman comic, a Justice League comic, and a Super Friends comic. I took them home, and unbeknownst to me at that time, my father had been a comic collector when he was younger and saw the comics, and we went out the same day and bought about another 30 comics, and it just escalated from there, to be honest. I'm Paul. This is Merthyr's only comic shop there's ever been, as well as being a tabletop wargaming shop as well. We're the only ones in the UK to do both. Games and comics in one shop. Years ago I used to work in a shop which was situated directly in between a comic shop and a game shop. I worked there for 10 years and constantly saw people walking back and forth between the two shops. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. Ever since then I knew it would work by putting the two things together, but I only managed to get it. I've been working on it for about a year, but I managed to get the shop open the end of October last year, and it's been going even better than I thought, to be honest with you. It's been a big hit, yeah.
My name is Lynn Fly, and I volunteer at Better World Games. Basically I've always been interested in comics, but it's just, movies, stuff like that, you keep interested in. So I've always been interested in, fantasy and stuff like that, yeah. I do collect comics now. Working in a shop definitely influences, yeah, because you see all the new titles coming in and you get excited, and yeah, so adds to everything really. Can't keep my paws off them. Well, when we gather for tabletop gaming in the Zoa, it's always a bit hectic. We help set up and everything like that, but once everyone's settled down, you have a nice game of rolling dice essentially. My tabletop model versus yours.
So I'm Joel Porter. I'm 18 years old. The idea behind Warhammer is that it's basically like a much more complicated version of Risk, is how I'd always think of it. So you've got lots of different kinds of men who can do different kinds of things, and then your opponent has the same thing. This is often classified in books. So you get a rule book, so like your rules manual for Risk, but bigger. And then you've got little books that talk about the specific armies and the specific men and what they can do. And so then you get plastic sets and you cut them out with a pair of clippers and you clean them so they're nice. You stick them together so you pose them how you want them, so you can have action poses or like however you think. You can often convert them so they look slightly different to how they do on the box. Then you have to paint them. So there's a painting, you can paint them whatever colours you like. There's often recommended sets and recommended colours. Then you take them to a table. You often set up a table, so it's a 6 by 4 foot table on average. Sometimes you play on 8 by 4. That's quite nice because it's a bit bigger. And so then you have a certain amount of dice. You set your armies out, so you put all your figures down. Your opponent does the same, and you use rolling dice and certain values on the dice. And if you achieve that, you achieve something in game, and then you remove or add models dependent on the results.
It's like playing Xbox with your mates or something like that, except you're obviously face to face. It's more that social thing I like playing, but I also like the painting and the hobby side of it basically.
So Thursday nights I go to Zoa from 6 till 9 normally to play Warhammer 40k normally. There are other game systems there, but tend to be in the minority at the moment. Tend to play 1500 points, so you'll get in, you'll get set up. You have to either choose an opponent or be given an opponent, and you can play. Cost £3. I think it's worth it. It's good. Doesn't feel like too much, but it also lets you go in and still have £2 spare from a fiver to buy drinks.
Well, since the shop opened, I come off the sabbatical basically because we had nowhere to play. So then once the shop opened, my interest picked back up, and I go back into it in a big way again.
So before Better World opened, there was nowhere really close. Like, we have a table in our house, which is a 6x4 table. We play on that occasionally. A little while, like a year or so ago, we were going to a place in Cardiff to play. So that was good. Loads and loads of tables, like 50 tables at the back or something. Lots of fellas there. But yeah, it was just a trek to get to. So, and then at that point I thought, actually, I'm not going to carry on keeping up to date with this, because one, it's a long trek, and two, it's quite expensive, and there's nothing really near me, so there's no incentive for me to do it and enjoy it. Now that A Better World has opened and we've got the place in Zoa, there's an incentive for me to go, yeah, actually this would be good fun to do, and I'd like to be involved with this. So I picked up where I left off and bought the few extra bits and pieces to keep me up to date, and now we're working here, and it's great. I tend to find that with Warhammer, keeping up to date with rules and stuff, and playing a lot of computer games for me, there tends to be enough there, both money-wise and time-wise, for me to say, actually, I'll keep these two and I'll leave comics for now.
Well, comics have been impacted me basically by, the superhero ideals always do good things, or, and stay away from bad things, that type of thing, just usual good versus evil. But there are certain stories you can take, like from, say, Spider-Man, growing up as a teenager and stuff like that. But yeah, stuff like that really make various impacts on you.
It's a way to get away, to relax. You can read the comics and get into that world. It's just another world you can get into. Different worlds for different comics, but you become part of the characters. You feel like you're part of the characters. You know exactly what's going on, and it's just a whole community with other comic readers. Everyone knows exactly where you are, and it's just a really good thing to be into. Entertainment wise, it is in the middle of a massive boost at the moment, because you've got all the films that are coming out, games even. There's lots of computer games like the Batman Arkham games, the Injustice games, but I believe last year something like 30% of the entire movie industry take-ins was to do with comic related films, between Iron Man, Man of Steel. Like Iron Man, I think Iron Man was definitely the biggest box office taker last year, and Man of Steel wasn't far behind it. I think it was about another 12, including those, as well as those as well. Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out in August. Prior to that film announcement, Guardians of the Galaxy was a B title. It was constantly being rebooted and cancelled because it didn't sell well. Now the film's coming out. Guardians of the Galaxy is a big seller. It happens. Thor comics boosted when Thor film came out. Captain America comics will boost by the end of the month because the Captain America film is coming out. It's one of those things. It's unavoidable. When the films do well, the comics do well. Hopefully, within the next 6 months or so, we'll be moving to a bigger shop, because we start to outgrow this one, and then going further from there, possibly expansion with second, third outlets as well.
Apart from thanks to Paul for setting up here, really, because it gives a load of people stuff to do.
It's all good. It's not very well accepted by society yet, not as good as it should be, but yeah, other than that.
But you think movies and everything is
Yeah,
helping?
I think that definitely helps, yeah. Brings it back into being cool again, doesn't it?